Good morning, Mr. Mike Sheehan. Away you go.
Morning, yeah. What a weekend to be a Mid-Canterbury supporter. Absolutely marvellous.
Absolutely marvellous. Well, really, who thought they were, other than yourself, who thought that they would go back to back, to pick up this huge win. I mean, it was huge. Kept you guys the only unbeaten team in Heartland. And, I mean, you were at the game as we saw in that little opening. Where was South Canterbury? Where was the Might of the Stallion?
Oh, it was a great day. Yeah, no, apart from the wind, it was a great day out, thanks to South Canterbury putting on a great day. But, we just shut them out completely. It was a great display of running rugby. It was awesome. That's all I can describe. Awesome. Yeah, and it was great to see so many Mid-Canterbury supporters down there, Jock Ross, and most of the board members as well. So, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, no, it looked like it was an awesome day. It was just a shame that we didn't have any live coverage of it, which was a bit of a shame. I don't know. 1 minute they say they have it, then they don't, and then they'll post it on a Sunday maybe, which is a bit of a shame. But, hey, it's just the way we are. Big pack show today. We've got all the results from last weekend's Heartland Championship. We look forward to this weekend, NPC, Farah Palmer Cup, and then we talk about that other team in black at some point. But just a quick housekeeping note from me. I know you were away last week, Mike, but just a quick housekeeping note. I've heard nothing at all from West Coast Rugby Union. And so, I don't know, is silence golden or is silence they don't want to admit they've made a mistake? And to everyone out there, especially to the messages I have received from people on the West Coast, thank you. It's great to know I've got your support, and we'll just carrying on and like we do. And that's all I have to say on that matter. I said my rant last week, and I'll move on now. So this week, what have we got? We got the results from last weekend, and we'll bring these up onto the board, as we call it. So that was a no-brainer. Wanganui, East Coast, huge win for the Butcher Boys, Mike.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty decisive win. Good to see Aliki Vakarongo get another 3 tries to add to his 47 tries out of 44 matches. Dominant, and West Coast coming right.
Yeah, I know. It was, Wanganui coming right, but...
Wanganui,
yeah. I mean, East Coast, pretty unlucky not to get a bonus point. They tried hard, and... But yeah, no, that was the TV game of the week as well. So it was good. It was also club day, so they had a huge crowd there, which is always awesome at Whakarua Park when they have all the clubs all dressed up, riding their horses and motorbikes and all the other stuff. But it was a good game. Did enjoy watching it, and I'll tell you, as you mentioned about Varongaronga, how has he not been picked up by an NPC team? He's a try-scoring machine.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised not to see him on the Ian Kirkpatrick medal table. And I'll be very surprised if he's not in the Heartland 15 at the end of the year. He's had a quiet start to the season by his account, but yeah, he's just coming right now. Actually, the whole squad's coming right. They've had a lot of bad luck with injuries. And I also heard through the grapevine that they had travel disruptions heading up to Ruatoria, so that wasn't ideal either. So,
yeah, it was never ever a easy place to get to, because the other hard place to get to is Westport, and that was Thames, who picked up their second win of the year in a dominant performance against the Buller Boys, unfortunately. Congratulations to Ben Pratt, who got his first meat pie for the Buller Boys. in horrendous conditions. If you can have a look at the video, it's a wonder the camera stayed up. It's a wonder the goalposts stayed up. And a shout out to a good friend of ours, Nana Lynn, who was in the studio at Coast FM producing the radio commentary. And I should have actually grabbed a photo because it just said it all to me, the one photo. She said she heard a big whoosh of wind, a big enormous crash, and she went out and a roof had landed on her car. But the thing was, this is how bad the weather was. It was a long, long road where the studio is, and I am not kidding you. Her car was the only car parked on that entire road. I mean, how unlucky is that? You're the only car on a 2-kilometre straight piece of road, and it gets hit by a roof.
Yeah, pretty unlucky, but it was atrocious weather in Westport for a game of rugby. Full credit to Thames Valley, but there's still work to be done for them heading towards the end of the season.
Certainly is, and we'll have a look at their game for this weekend coming up. That is why this week is brought to you by East Coast and Thames Valley, the background, because that's the game of the week. But the other game there, which we got a live coverage of, live stream late in the piece, thanks to a guy called Ethan Clark. So thank you, Ethan, for providing that live stream of the Bill Osborne Taonga defence. Now, the weird thing about this, and thank you, Josh Flavel, for pointing this out, because I'm not the only trained spotter in the world. Last year in round 2, Horowhenua went down to Greymouth and won by 27 points to 26. And of course, they held on this year to win at home by 27 to 26. But then my train spotting came out, and stuck in the middle of that was the infamous semi-final of the Lahore Cup in Levin, when West Coast got up by 52 points to 51. So if I add up those scores for West Coast, their 2 defeats equaled 52 points. I know it's a bit sort of stretching out what stats are, but that's incredible. And Horowhenua, well, I said they would be tough at home defending the Bill Osborne. The question has to be asked, have the wheels started falling off West Coast? They did have to bring back Nick Foxley, who's a watcher of the show.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough battle up in Levin. Horowhenua got some big boys, some really, really big strong ball carrying forwards, and it could have gone either way, but full credit to Horowhenua for holding on to the Bill Osborne for another week. Hopefully the wheels haven't started falling off the West Coast campaign. They'll need to go back to the drawing board and see what they can do better.
Yeah, because they did have a couple of late changes, I did notice, with Quinn Johnson coming in for Troy Tarfary at hooker there, and a couple of other movements around, so I don't know what the story was there. But otherwise, though, West Coast, they can still feel sort of lucky. They walked away with 2 bonus points in that game. And another shout out to another debutant for West Coast, Jonah Barber. He becomes the 1432nd player to play for the West Coast. So you would know him. He's out of the Mid-Canterbury region. He's played for them, I believe, in the past. Well done, Horowhenua. But then I was getting updates from North Otago, Poverty Bay, and Poverty Bay actually jumped out to a quick lead. North Otago just weren't playing that first half, and but they stormed back to actually get a big win by 59 to 33.
Yeah, this result actually surprised me. I thought the Weaker might have been able to take this one out, but the old story, the old Golds at home in front of their supporters club and the old faithful at the Oamaru Showgrounds. Good one, and they're starting to show some form.
Yeah, no, they certainly are, and of course they've got a big test this week, as we'll come across it in a minute. And of course, then that bloody green and gold team, they beat the green and blacks by 34-18 in a huge game. But what got me more about that was it was the opportunity, wasn't it, for South Canterbury to revenge the semi-final loss from last year. It took them a long time to actually get a try on the board.
Yeah, I think they might have scored their try. It might have been in the second half. I'm not quite sure, but they only managed to get two penalties in the first half. It's just bad luck for them. Maybe they're having an off day. Sia Kakala and Taiko Whakatava weren't playing because they're still injured, but they'll bounce back. They're a good quality side and they're well coached, so we can't write them off yet.
No, totally not. But then, oh my God, I know they had the under-16 Heartland Championship on in Taupo. That is why this game, King Country Wairarapa Bush, didn't start till 5:30. But my God, what a performance by Wairarapa Bush. 20 minutes to go in the game. They'd already emptied the bench and they had literally no replacements. They had to bring back Izzy Burmaiwai to as a HIA, they said, because I think it was Alec O'Dowd got injured and he had to come off. So they had to bring Izzy back on. But they had about, I don't know, time was up. They were on their 20th phase attacking the King Country line. It looked like they'd gone over a couple of times, and then it looked like they had gone over and held up, and I thought, oh no, they've just missed out. Why didn't they try for a drop goal? But the referee had a arm out for a penalty. So who was going to kick the goal? Well, Jack Eschenbach, their goal kicker, had already gone off the field. There was no one really left on the field who was a recognised goal kicker. So up stepped the Wairarapa Bush centre, Jack Delaney, right in front. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I would say yay, but they missed the conversion right in front, which hit the post. So I was a bit nervous. If the kicks had gone over, Wairarapa Bush wouldn't have been in the position they were. But he takes the kick, and I am not kidding you. Go online, have a look at the last few minutes of that game on the replay, because the kick went left, the kick went right, the kick went up, the kick went down, it went right again, then left again, and just snuck in through the left-hand post to secure the Lahore Meads scroll, which, as we'll soon see in a minute in the games for this weekend, sets up an awesome battle in 2 weeks with Horowhenua for the PGG Wrightson Cup and the Bill Osborne and maybe something else, which we will come across when we talk about their game this week. But yeah, huge result for Wairarapa Bush. And that, of course, that result whacks them up, believe it or not, into 3rd place. Now, initially, I was looking at the table and I was focusing on the Lahore Cup teams because they were all on 16 points because there is tiebreakers and it's all head-to-head and all that. And I'm just looking at that and going, okay, well, when there's more than 3 teams tied, they've all got to play each other, okay? And then if they haven't played each other, then it comes on to the points for and against, the plus and minus. I completely forgot that Wairarapa Bush and West Coast were both on 17 points. So the tiebreaker there is Wairarapa Bush won the game down in Greymouth and they go ahead of West Coast. So even though West Coast got a better attack and defence, that's why Wairarapa Bush are on top. So, but right at the top there, mid Canterbury, one more win and you can lock in a Meads Cup semi-final.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Pretty exciting for the region. We've got a big game coming up this weekend at home, so hopefully the weather plays ball.
Yeah. So, and then of course, on top of that, this is off the Tribe app, which I've modified myself. But I have been in touch with Tribe to tell them. I don't know whether they've actually moved it around yet, but unfortunately, I can't access the Tribe ladder. I only enter in all the results every Saturday as we go live. So hopefully they've updated that. I haven't actually checked. I should have checked this morning before we went to air. But as you can see there, though, if I just bring that up, there are all the tiebreaker rules. And literally, I don't ever think we'll get down to try scored, points scored, because, you know, I mean, the only time it would go to points, if the points differential was the same and all that, is literally if there was a draw or something like that. And as I said, in the tiebreaker for 3 teams or more tied, it pretty much will just come down to points differential, because it will be it'll be very rare for a differential to be identical. Maybe that will come back and bite me on the bum. But anyway, you mentioned the Ian Kirkpatrick medal. Bunnies just threw this up today, and after, I thought he had a good performance, Sam Moulton-Sexton, but it still surprises me he's on top of this table, because look who's chasing him. Sereni Massey, Declan McCormick, Kieran McClay, and Quinn Collard has now made a bid for the top 3. You will be happy to see 2 hammers there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised that he was still on the top of the leaderboard as well. What's the criteria for that? Is it points scored, tries scored? What's the go?
No, when they send in their match reports, the teams put in who their 3-2-1 points are.
Oh, okay.
So I suppose if you've got a team, if you've got a player who's playing a game, not necessarily a great game, but if you and you want to see him stay at the top of the table, would you not be mad not to give him 3 points every game he plays in?
Yeah, but that kind of undercuts the purpose of it, doesn't it? But good to see Declan and Kieran there. Declan was runner-up last year, and he had a blinder on the weekend, so it's great.
Now, I could be wrong. It could be the points offered from the opposing team, because when I see match reports, it's just got the Wairarapa guys, but maybe King Country came and said, we're going to give Sam 3 points, blah, blah, 2 points and 1 point, and then they stick that on their match report. Maybe that's the way it works. So I'm thinking that's how it goes. So, but anyhow, but congratulations, round 5 to Sam Moulton. He's been leading it now for 2 weeks in a row. Let's see how he goes this weekend, if he pulls up against the Buller Boys in thing. And of course, as I said, huge shout out to the Horowhenua boys who get to hold on to the Bill Osborne for another round. But they are of course away this week coming up. So we look at this week, and I tell you, all these times have been updated due to the fact it all comes down to travel. So we kick off at 1 o'clock with 2 matches. We've got Poverty Bay taking on South Canterbury at 1 o'clock. We've got Wairarapa Bush taking on Buller at Masterton at 1 o'clock. West Coast, North Otago at 1:30 down there in Greymouth. Mid Canterbury, of course, taking on your boys, King Country. Your boys taking on King Country at 2 o'clock. The TV game this week is Thames Audi Perot, kick off at 2:05. And then we got Whanganui playing Horowhenua Kapiti at 2:30. Now, the reason I just run through that is because then we will look at the head-to-heads and get our predictions up for the week. So, can the Stallions bounce back? I mean, if I can just blow this up a bit, Poverty Bay have got 6 wins over South Canterbury, but it has been a long time between drinks, I think, for them. As you can see there by all the red lines, their last victory against South Canterbury was back in 2011 in the Lahore Cup final. Yeah,
I think the Stallions will bounce back. They'll be hurting after the drumming we gave them on Saturday. I think they will win, and they'll win convincingly by at least 20.
Yeah, I think Poverty Bay did get close back in 2023. It's unusual, actually, to see a couple of back-to-back games at home. They normally try to move it so it's home and away. But, South Canterbury walked away last time and a couple of years ago, 41-31 winners. But then there were some huge scores before that. You got 60, 40, 40, 60, 60, so some big scores since they lost that Lahore Cup final back in 2011. To me, I think I'll have to agree with you. I think South Canterbury will be far too strong, with an average scoreline of 34-29, 34-26. I just think they are, I think they're going to be too rough for the Weka. It'll be interesting to see, but Poverty Bay are travelling well, so I think we'll be in for a great match there. If you disagree with us, throw them in the comments and tell us your picks, so we'll know who to blame if we are right or wrong. So the next game, of course, is now at 1 o'clock. These two teams have been going head-to-head since 1975. Again, a newer provincial feature. It's the boys from the bush taking on the Lions from Bulla. Wairarapa Bush are leading this 16 games to 10. 10 games to 6 after 16 games. Average score is 26-21, so they can be quite tight matches. But if we have a look, the last time these two teams played down there at Westport, Bulla actually got up and won this by 27 points to 20, breaking a 3-game losing streak by Wairarapa Bush. Now, I'm going to say this, and it's going to be controversial. They play on turf at Memorial Park. It is a great surface, I think, but it doesn't tend to always benefit Wairarapa Bush. A lot of teams can travel to there and take out the victory. Does that make your predictions any different?
No, because you already know my thoughts on that ground. Hopefully Wairarapa Bush don't have too many injuries after last week's battle with King Country. The boys from Bulla are still searching for their first win in the Heartland competition, which is a shame. But I think Wairarapa Bush, if they're anywhere near their best, they will take it out and they will win well by 15 at least.
Yeah, well, I mean, it will be interesting to see what the lineup is because, the casualty ward after that game against King Country was huge. Almost every substitution there last Saturday was due to injury. So hoping that they're not too bad of injuries and they were just like winded, I suppose you could say. But hopefully they can bounce back. Levi Harmon, he was a late pullout, so maybe having the week off might not be an issue for him so he's nice and fit and rearing to go. So it'll be interesting to see how they do go. I have to sit on the fence with this one because I've got a foot in both camps here. So I'm going to go for our first draw of the season after Golden Point. There we go. How about that for sitting on the fence?
Yeah, right. We'll see how we go, will we?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can get a draw and still probably pick up 3 points because if you get a draw and 4 tries, that's 3 points. That's as good as a win, if not better. So, I'm going to go for a draw. They've never drawn a game in the entire history of these two teams. But, hey, why not? Time to break the drought, I say. So I'll get away from that now because then I can start talking up other people. Right, so we've got the big game on at West Coast. I have heard from Nick Cumming, who will be doing the live streaming from this game, which will be great. Because unfortunately, if a couple of the North Otago boys aren't doing the travel to Greymouth this time round. But North Otago, this is a big battle for the red and white. They are leading 8 games to 5. And, how long have they been playing since? 1949. I'll see if I can blow this up. And North Otago do have a winning record against West Coast, even though there was a short win there in 27-12. But as you can see, since 2015, the home team has won every game. North Otago last one in Greymouth back in, if I can find it, back in 2013, when they got up by 32-22.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll just go to the toilet.
Oh, okay. No, that's all cool. So, okay, if you're watching, come and join me. Throw in some comments while young Mike is doing a constitutional. So what I can do here is I can carry on. And in the Heartland here, as you can see, West Coast, North Otago, 13 Heartland matches, with North Otago leading this game by 8-5. I've got a mistake on my little graphic there, but I know it's 8-5. Average score is 26-21 to North Otago. Big game. Greymouth. West Coast will be looking to bounce back against the Old Golds. Kickoff is at 1:30. Okay, so I'm going to go for an upset here. I'm going to say North Otago are going to help my predictions of being in the top 4. But in saying that, I think West Coast will still walk away with a couple of bonus points, i.e. like they did last week against the Horowhenua Kapiti. And Kareem, it is a tough game to predict. I totally agree with you. I'm going to go for a similar scoreline, maybe 30-28. There you go. I'm throwing that scoreline out there to North Otago. Both teams will pick up bonus points. West Coast will pick up a couple of bonus points. So that's the way I'm sort of leaning to. I don't mind not picking West Coast. That's the problem. But I think North Otago are starting to get a roll on.
Yeah, I'm going to go in this game, John Sturgeon Park. I'm going to go North Otago by 6.
Well, I've gone by 2. So definitely keep an eye out on that game and follow me on Tribe as I update the results if you're not watching the live stream. So, okay. Then we've got, some bloody team. Who are, the Hammers. So, you've played King Country 11 times in Heartland. You've won 8. You've lost 3. You got an average score of 31-22 in Heartland. But, he says, no one can win at home. Do you see that? The last home win was back in 2015. King Country lost, Mid-Canterbury lost, King Country lost, Mid-Canterbury lost, King Country lost. So, is this your banana skin game?
Hopefully not. No, we need to keep the foot on the throat and obviously walk away with maximum points, but King Country won't make it easy for us.
No, I know. I mean, you look at it and you think, impressive against South Canterbury. You can't take that away. Two teams both passionate about taking that victory last weekend. And you guys just ran over the top of them. I just think that, again, the Hammers are on a roll, and they know if they can knock this game off, they will pretty much secure that home semi-final moving into the playoffs. So,
I'm going to go the Hammers by 12.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you. I hate picking Canterbury teams, but I'll have to agree. I think they'll become break that 10-year cycle of no home team winning at home. So, I think Mid-Canterbury will get up and do the business there. So, there you go. You can't give me grief. I've picked your team this week. But, yes, as you can see there, now, I had to double check this, because if you go and look at rugby database, you go and look at all these other things, it says they've only played 48 games since 1931. And I'm just going, no. This is not right. So I went and had a look, and literally the almanac, I don't know why. Oh, maybe because people make mistakes.
Oh.
Hello, people out there who say I get shit wrong. But this game being played in Coromandel is Thames Valley, trying to get a roll on to make a push for the semi-finals, taking on Kahu and team at East Coast, at Coromandel. Thames Valley, this is the 50th occasion these two teams have gone to battle. They're normally high-scoring results, if I can bring these up. You know, back there in last year, Thames Valley at Ruatoria, huge result, 60 points to 45. But as you can see, they're on a 7-game Heartland winning streak, because back in 2018, they did play a game in pre-season. And so that is why I'm saying this is the 50th game between these two unions. And I think they played it in Bay of Plenty, if memory serves me correct. But East Coast haven't won since the glory days of 11 and 12, 9, 11 and 12. Do you think it's just like, okay, thank you for coming, East Coast? Huge day in Coromandel. They've got heaps on at the game. A 30-point win to Thames.
Yeah, I think teams are going to win, and they're going to win quite convincingly here. I'll give it 20 points at least, and that's going to bring them back up the table where they need to be.
Yeah, well, I just quickly, because I do like sharing what people have to say. Kim Blanchfield, thank you for your watching. He's saying West Coast all the way. As I said, it is a hard game to pick that previous match. But this is also the Thames Valley East Coast game is the TV game on Sky Sports Select and on Sky Open. And I think it's on Freeview as well. 2:00. Yeah. Do you think East Coast has the ability here to throw a spanner in the works? I mean, I'm trying to, give these guys a pep talk, because they've got the talent, haven't they, East Coast?
Yeah, they're still searching for their first win. It hasn't been an easy season for them, but yeah, they just seem to find one better, don't they?
Yeah. I think unfortunately they might be heading in the direction of what do you call it? Poverty Bay last year, who went 0-8, and a couple of years ago, West Coast 0-8. It could be East Coast's turn. It does make it an interesting match at the end of the season, battle for the wooden spoon, when they have to travel and play Buller down there. I'm sure that's where they're going. Buller East Coast will be playing, and that will be pretty much for the what do you call it? Wooden spoon. So the other game there, though, on the last game of the round will be Wanganui taking on Horowhenua. Now, I did say there was more on this than meets the eye. So Wanganui, 17 Heartland games. They've won 15, and they've only lost 2 in Heartland. And those 2 games were back in 2017 and 2014. Back at Cook's Gardens. Now, the Bruce Steele Cup, I believe, is up for grabs here, which is originally played for between Manawatu, Wanganui, Horowhenua, and Wairarapa. But now it's just the Heartland teams that play for it. So, yeah, Wanganui, huge, what's that, last 2 matches, 130 odd points to 40, you'd have to say raging favourites, Wanganui. But if Horowhenua can upset here, and only get their 13th win since 1903. That's how long these guys have been playing for. It's the 88th match. The following week, Horowhenua would have the amazing day of hosting Wairarapa Bush playing for the PGG Wrightson Cup, the Bill Osborne Taonga, and the Bruce Steele Cup. I mean, that even blows your hand and shield out the window, doesn't it? Because you only played for 2 trophies. There will be 3 trophies, including the Bill Osborne, up for grabs. Do you think Horowhenua can break this 8-game losing streak?
Yeah, I think. I do. I think Horowhenua won't make it easy for Wanganui, but Wanganui are coming right. This is probably a game that can go either way. But I'm going to pick Wanganui by 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just casting my mind back for when they were 19-14 up against West Coast. And they just imploded in the second half. They haven't been able to string together 2 40-minute halves, Wanganui, this year. I mean, that's probably going to come back and bite me on the bum, and they'll completely dominate this weekend. But, yeah, I'm just because you went Wanganui, I'm going to say Horowhenua Kapiti to win the Bruce Steele Cup and win by 3. Woo.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match, that one. I think it's probably going to be one of the games of the round, to be fair.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, I think that was pretty much I'll just double check. Oh, yeah, it was. So, yeah, again, we're coming to the squeaky bum time of the year. King Country are pretty much gone burger now, unless they can get on a roll in their last few games and maybe sneak into Lahore Cup. But pretty much you can put a red cross through King Country, Buller and East Coast now. And now it's just a battle for that other 9 teams, believe it or not, because Thames Valley, they're in 9th place, but they're only 3 points behind the top 4.
Yeah. It's shaping up to be a great final few weeks. You know, we've got Thames Valley North Target knocking on the door. Wairarapa Bush have been thrust up into 3rd position. It's really exciting.
Yeah, because now what we can do is have a quick look at the results from the NPC from the last weekend, and of course, Wellington. It's time they got rid of a few of these old guys. I'm sorry. I'm a Lion supporter through and through. It's about time we had a bit of a changing of the guard there at now Parurua Park, even though the Taniwha, who have been going great guns, got up to annihilate the Lions, basically. They chewed them up and spat them out 43-26. What's their name? Waikato. Narrow win over the Cellar Dwellers North Harbour by 29-28. Now, this game was amazing. It started off quite nicely. As you can see by that image, it ended up with a bit of rain. But Lincoln McClutchy, or the Clutch, as they're now calling them, got that drop goal to win 24-21 and got I reckon, the best trophy in the country. #Bay for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, that was a great game. Cometh the man, cometh the hour. Got the crucial score to get the Magpies the victory. So it was great.
Yeah, and of course, I believe he was a late call-up as well because of injuries. So he really showed them what was what. Then, of course, this game, I did pick Otago on the show last week, so I'm really, really happy. But my God, it was a tight one with Otago getting up 28-26 over Taranaki, who seemed to still be having Ranford Shield hangovers. And then, of course, the Evil Empire. I was watching this game, and I'm thinking, shit, Manawatu, I had to dig into the record books to see when they last won at Eden Park. I then had to just quickly go off and do something. And then I come back, and that was the final score. I thought, oh, now, are the world champion, the greatest team ever, the Evil Empire, on a roll and going to win the championship? Or did Manawatu just implode when they had their noses in front?
No, I don't think Auckland are going to win the championship because I'm not an Auckland supporter, so you'll never get me saying that. But I think Manawatu just had a bad day.
Yeah, I know. It was a shame, really, and it was good to see the crowd. See the crowd in the background at the National Stadium. Awesome crowd. Then we had the Ranfurly Shield. Now, was that not a last few minutes of injury time? What did it get to? 25, 30 phases before George Bell went over the line to secure the Ranfurly Shield defence for Canterbury. Did you watch this?
No, I didn't. I was actually busy at the time, so I had it on the radio. But yeah, no, it was a great game of Shield rugby. You know, Tasman were just about. Well, Tasman were looking good to take it out, but yeah, that last passage of play went for ages, and I think both teams were out on their feet, and yeah, George Bell managed to sneak over in the last 83rd, 84th minute, but. Yeah, Tasman can be pretty proud of that effort, I think, and Canterbury need to realise that there are teams out there that will push them and will take the Shield because it doesn't belong in Canterbury. That's simple as that.
And of course, who they got this weekend? Otago. Woohoo! The thing is, though, when we look at that game as well, the first try that oh God, I can't even think of his name now off the top of my head. The scrum half for Canterbury. He did a chip, hit the post, bounced back in, and poor old David Harville ran past it and he scored. But then, what a return from David Harville, who then got the return try by getting in front of Sam. Was it Sam Gary? Yeah. And just managed to pop the ball down. I thought, well, there's some justice for you. You know, he really made up for stuffing up the other end. But no, it was a great game, and commiserations to Tasman. I thought the the Shield was heading back to Nelson, but unfortunately not. And then of course I went Southland. Where's this county's team been? A 50-point plus one?
Yeah, I backed Southland as well too, but yeah, counties register. I think that might have been their first win, was it, of the competition?
I believe it was.
Well, the Stags didn't even turn up, and they got thumped by the Steelers, which, there would have been a few cold beverages consumed in Pukekohe that night, I think.
Well, actually, it was their second one.
Oh, okay. Right.
So they must have beaten North Harbour because everyone else has. So you look at, you still got to be in that top 8, believe it or not. And now Wellington's only ahead of Auckland on point differential. And Southland, if you look at that 8, you got Northland's in there on 18 points, right? You got Manawatu on 17, Wellington, Auckland, Southland, and believe it or not, counties on 12. So any one of those teams could still make it into the top 8. But then, you look at the runaway leaders at the moment after 7 rounds, and Otago, top of the table clash coming up this weekend is the Ranfurly Shield. Big game.
Yeah, huge game. Let's go Otago.
Well, yeah, I have got that here. So here we go. So, yes. So this is how it would work. So Canterbury win. Taranaki get another crack and could then after losing it, have one more chance at a bite of the cherry and then put it away for the summer again. Otago win. They will need to host North Harbour, who are still searching for their first win. If Otago do the business there, they put it away for the summer. If North Harbour do the upset, then you got Southland travelling up to Albany to take out. So there's still a good roadmap there in the Ranfurly Shield. So, I don't know. So we'll just go straight ahead and say Canterbury or Otago.
Otago.
Yeah. Why not? Hey, why not? Let's go Otago, and then they can have one Yahoo celebration against North Harbour when they play them, and then they can, take the Shield on a tour around Otago country and provinces, or the rural areas of Otago, and get some awesome photos. It's been a while since they've held it, so why not? If we have a quick look at the Dwayne Monkley as well, currently you got Sam Derry leading that, with Vivino Lasaka in second place, with Lester Whainuku and Corey Evans. And then you got 6 players who are tied on 5th place. Why is Sam Derry not in the All Blacks?
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, because then also, why, I know they brought in Tucker Ahau and all that, and Brodie McAllister, basically in the All Blacks. What did George Bell do wrong? I mean, he's an All Black.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bring back Jamie Joseph.
Oh, totally, and Buck. But anyway, and then we'll just
and Tony Brown. Oh wait,
Tony Brown. No, we lost him. I'll just quickly remove that for a moment. So what we can do here is, okay, Taranaki Hawke's Bay.
You'd have to go Hawke's Bay, wouldn't you?
Okay, so that game's been played on Friday night. I think Taranaki will get up and win this one. So there we go. There's our split there. And then on Saturday, big day, we've got Counties taking on Auckland at Pukekohe. This is a defining game for both teams.
I'd have to pick Auckland on their recent form, wouldn't you? Even though I don't support Auckland, but I'll pick them this time round.
Okay, I'll go Counties because I'll never pick Auckland. And then, of course, at the new home ground of Porirua Park, the Lions taking on the Stags, Wellington Southland. I'll go Wellington there to win, but then even then, that's a load of rubbish.
Thanks for me.
Stags for you, okay. We've already mentioned the Ranfurly Shield. So yeah, we're both going to say go Otago. Why not? Just for the hell of it. And only because I've missed my cue here, because I can't actually see the whole ticker because I've got too many things written down here. I'll just quickly pull up my NPC thing. And then, of course, we've got Tasman taking on Waikato, 7 o'clock game on Saturday night. Tasman, I think, will be too strong for Waikato. I believe that game, here we go. It's been played in Blenheim. They play well in Blenheim, Tasman, so I'm going to go Tasman to win that one.
Yeah, I'll go Tasman. Is that played at Lansdowne Park, is it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, Tasman for me in that one.
Okay. And then, of course, we've got North Harbour taking on the Tariwha. Okay. The gold medal for media this year has to go to Northland Rugby Union.
Yeah.
They put a what do you call it? A flagpole on top of Sky Tower. They've now put a flagpole up on top of the Beehive with the Northland flag. Now they'll be putting a flagpole on top of the Auckland Harbour Bridge, saying that they now own all of Auckland.
Yeah, no, there's some pretty creative stuff coming out of the Northland Rugby Union on social media, which is good to see. I'm going to pick Northland to beat North Harbour quite convincingly, actually. Yeah,
and then I'm going Northland as well. And the good thing about that Northland stuff, it's unique. It's not stupid, trying to play on Netflix or Discovery or all that other crap you sometimes see. And then, of course, the round ends with Manawatu hosting Bay of Plenty, who will be definitely hurting after losing to Hawke's Bay last week.
I think the Steamers will come back and beat Manawatu, but it wouldn't surprise me. If Manawatu beat the Steamers. So yeah, Steamers for me on that one.
Yeah, well, I sort of agree with you. Even though Manawatu have been hard at home, so yeah. And then of course we've got the Farah Palmer Cup coming up. We'll just have a quick squiz at the results from that over the past weekend. So this was pretty much a promotion relegation game. So the Hawke's Bay Tui will be moving down into the championship next year. Bay of Plenty, after some massive losses this year, have survived the premiership. So congratulations to the Volcanics there. We had the Auckland Canterbury game where the Canterbury girls got up and won that by 32 points to 19. JJ Stewart was up for grabs, which is the Ramfurdy Shield for the Farah Palmer Cup. Waikato defended that again in a tight tussle with Manawatu. And then, of course, that is the current standings in the premiership. So as you can see, Waikato is still there. Manawatu, Canterbury and Auckland, they're still looking like they're going to be the semi-finalists coming up, unless the counties do something amazing, which I can't see happening. And then, of course, you had the semi-finals for the championship. Basically, the winner of this gets promoted into the premiership for next year. And the Otago Spirit girls got up by 31 to 22 over North Harbour. And the Northland Cowrie 29 to 24 over the Pride, which then sets us nicely up for a championship final down there in Otago. Our first major final of the year. Otago Spirit taking on the Northland Cowrie. Which way do you think this is going to go?
I'm going to back that. Yeah, I'm going to back the Otago girls in this.
Yeah, I mean, it's been played at Tahuna Park, so it's not been played at the Forsyth Bar Stadium, which is unusual. But yeah, I think the Otago girls will be celebrating not just the championship, but also getting up and winning promotion to the premiership for next year. Okay, let's rip the Band-Aid off, shall we? First half, bloody brilliant. They were in the game. Second half,
no good, mate.
No good. And I can tell you who can take credit here. Tony Brown. Did you notice, and Rhodey pointed this out to me, and then I looked and I said, gee, you're on the mark here, Rhodey. The wave defense, something new. Everyone's talking about the big guys, but did you notice that when the Africans came up in defense, they had a wave of 4, right? And then they had a second wave coming in behind that of 4. And then they had a third wave coming in behind that of 3 players. It was a very interesting defensive pattern.
Yep.
No way.
That sounds like a Tony Brown masterclass to me.
Yeah, I know. There was absolutely no way for the ABs to counteract that. They just must have been thinking, what the hell how do we contact this? How do we break this down? It was crazy. So we have a quick look at those last results. 5 more minutes and the Wallabies could have taken out another from behind victory, but the Pumas held on. And then we saw what happened there. But after all these games, did you think Australia would be on top?
No. Definitely not.
I know. Bloody crazy. So anyone can beat anyone at the end of the day. But then I did spot this morning, and I thought it was a very, very good, interesting thing. So the Wallabies play the Lions, tick. Springboks, tick, 1-1 over there. They played the Pumas, 1-1. Then they've got a loading sign for the All Blacks. Do the Wallabies have a chance against the All Blacks?
Well, the All Blacks need to sort their shit out. Otherwise, the Wallabies are going to beat us.
Yeah, I mean it is a very crazy competition as we see it at the moment. So yeah, but basically that's about us for the show, because we've got a couple of weeks off before the All Blacks play again. So thoughts go out to Noah Hotham, who just got over injuring his ankle and then only to go and break the other ankle. So he's pretty much gone for the year. Has been interesting listening to guys on like the Sky TV breakdown show talking about bringing back Aaron Smith and all this sort of stuff. There are 14 NPC teams. Why do we have to go back and look at the past?
We don't.
I know. We're still 2 years away from a World Cup. We've got plenty of time to drop a few I don't believe I'm saying this, but to drop a few games. Let's experiment. Let's let's use 50 players like Rafi Erasmus. You know? Let's have a look for that combination. Bring back trial matches even. How good would that be? A North-South trial. You know? Bring back those.
Right.
Because I did mention on radio the other day, it's about time they start looking at Heartland. I mean, there are Heartland guys in the All Blacks, you know, that have come out of Heartland currently, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, there is a superstar. John Kerwin, wasn't he a butcher's boy? Not Wanganui, but working in a butcher back in Auckland back in the day, and they brought him in, you know. Mike Jones, what was he? Oh, give him a game in the World Cup, scores a try, becomes a legend, you know. They've got to look for that spark, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they need someone to spark to come back.
Yeah. But anyway, that will be us for the show today. Again, thanks to everyone for watching. And we'll catch up with you all on the next show.
Yeah. Thanks, Rabs, and up the mighty man of mid.
I just want you to lose the game to come back down to earth. But enjoy the successes at the moment, and we'll talk again very, very shortly.
See you later, mate.
Okay, bye.